Rising family, grand rising. Your welding coach Joe Brown, aka Black Phoenix, aka Mr. Hog on himself, aka the richest welder, checking in, fam. Just wanted to talk about my interesting week, the things that's been going on, my plans with the welding community coming up soon that I'm working on, and also my mother's house. I'm actually inside of the garage that I enclosed to turn into a private welding facility. So right now I'm inside of it. You see the hog on at the back. That's the plaque I got made. 2020 is when the Hog On University was established. It was established right before I think it was right before the pandemic or right doing it, the beginning stages of it, when I actually established it. But when I come down here to my hometown, I started working on this in around 2002. I believe it's when I first started working on this, and I had a lot of work to do, fam. I had a lot of work to do at the home. Um, I put a photo up on on my story, and I said I was gonna upload some inside pictures. I'm gonna make sure I do that for my YouTube community. But there was a lot of damage to the home, but it was still able, the copper, the main things, it was still intact. The plumbing, the gas, even though I cut it off and I just got electric and water here, I wanted to be energy sufficient. So I eliminated some things, and it's still a few things I got to work on, here. But I was able to enclose the garage because my mom always talked about it, and then I got to get the motor so I can fix the garage. I had to go up and down, but I got it installed though, and like I say, I put the walls in, treated the walls, and so it could be outside. And I just wanted to have an enclosed environment so I could teach and I can be able to hold the equipment I was using to repair the house when I had different contractors come over, and when I was personally working on it myself, and I was dropping off the flooring, the carpet, the paint, what I mean, the tape and all different type of stuff that you got to have, air compressors and stuff like that. So it was a lot involved in getting the house together. So building this, I just wanted to say sometimes we'll wait. We'll try to say, man, once I get everything together, I'm gonna go on and start doing what I dream to do, what my dream is to do. When in the reality, we have to start doing that now, fam. You have to start building your dream, what you want to do with your life now. You can't wait for things to get perfect because things might not never get perfect. You might not never hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? So you have to create your own wealth, your own lottery. Thanks for checking in. Salute, salute. Make sure I say these messages. I appreciate everybody that have a moment to check in with me. I'm gonna make sure I lock them all up, lock them all in. My bad. Make sure I lock them all in. I hit the wrong button. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm building a space for teaching too, fam. Thanks for checking in. Salute, salute. Excel floor. My bad. I was trying to lock those messages in. So the goal is, fam, I got a lot of different things that I'm working on. Outside of improving, getting the home together. My goal is we're working on a shipping container welding lab where we're gonna, start off with about 5 booths, and the goal is to we can get about 10 booths, 8 to 10 booths inside of the lab, inside of the 40 foot. So that's the goal, to get about 10 booths in there, 8 to 10 booths. We won't have to make sure we have the room. We don't want to make it tight. We want to make it a good learning environment. So we're going to start off with 5, and then we're going to go from there. So the goal is to have a shipping container welding lab, and it's going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. So it's going to be connected to the Arkansas Baptist College. So for those who know anything about the HBCU colleges in America, one of them Two of them actually is in Arkansas. One of them is in Little Rock, and the other one is in Pine Bluff. So I'm networking with the one in Little Rock, and they're wanting to build a program of welding and have it intertwined with one of their academic programs, so that way they can teach the students two different things, kill seven birds with one stone, using a semester to learn welding. We're going to be focusing on construction and manufacturing. So in the Little Rock area, where our goal is to focus on the things that a person can learn and they can dive into the workforce and instantly start paying their bills. Dr. Fitzhill like to say, the skills that pays the bills. I think if we start somewhere, we can build bigger and bigger. So our goal is to intertwine a welding program into the college program, into one of the academic programs, where we can be able to teach them welding within a semester. So, and we're going to be focusing on manufacturing and construction, meaning we're going to be focusing on MIG welding, flux core welding, stick welding, and TIG welding. We're going to be doing the structural manufactural versions of it. Later, once the program open up, we're going to focus also on the pipe versions of it. But getting started, we're getting people straight into the market. Little Rock is known for manufacturing, known for the construction of steel, so and piping. So we're going to focus on the market there to help people grow in the inner city or the central area of Little Rock. Focusing on Pine Bluff as well. We're going to be focusing on these areas, and also planning on, getting kids from different areas of the state and surrounding states. You know what I'm saying? So we're not just focusing on the youth. My goal, like I said, was from ages 12 to 24, but we know people go to college from the ages about 18 to 19. So we can really change these young men's lives, you know what I mean? But we can also get the kids prepared. Get them prepared, let them touch it, let them feel it. We can get them prepared so that way by the time it's time to get their first jobs, they can be making some good money doing some apprenticeship with some companies in inside the city. And we're not just focusing on welding. We're started off with welding, but we're going to focus on what we're called the FIST community. It's going to be five, the FIST. So we figure if we get five of us together, we can form a FIST and we can hit something hard, fam. I mean, we can hit something hard in whatever state we in, whatever country we in, whatever planet we on. If we can weld, which is one of them, we can do HVAC, we can do plumbing, we can do carpentry, and we can do electrical. Those are the five things that we're focusing on, because if we can teach the community that, if we can teach the kids that, we can change their lives forever, fam. So that's what we're focusing on. And like I say, I am networking and pouring it up with Arkansas Baptist College. We have been networking and talking about this for over a year now. I have met with them a few times. And when you're working on something great and you on God's time, it's not your time. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that because sometimes we'll get caught up and we think why things ain't working out. It's not time. You haven't put enough grind in yet. You haven't failed enough. You haven't got back up. Because I think we learn more, family. I just want to say this for the note. We learn more from our failures than we do from our success. One thing about failing is some people be afraid to, but if you don't fail, then you'll never get the lesson, because it's not a hindrance. It's a lesson, fam. Once you fail enough, you will get the lesson from what you was repeating, so that way you can grow from it. So I think I'm a person who is not afraid to fail. I want to live hard, so I'm going to fail hard and I'm going to jump back up fast. It is what it is. I don't mind being naked and ashamed about my flaws, because I know that's the only way I can be able to reach the youth. I used to say when we was growing up and we looked at certain entertainers, certain people in the community, we never knew how they got to that status. We just say, hey, man, I want to be like so-and-so. So I said, once I build my brand and I build my movement, I want to make sure I document my growth, how I started, so that way you would know I just didn't get there overnight. So for those who don't know and not familiar with my first channel, it's Hog on Welding. So if you go on YouTube and check out the Hog on Welding channel, it's over 5,000 videos. And I didn't even know what I was doing. Some I was shoot, small ones. Didn't know how to look at the camera right. Started documenting my journey, different welding jobs, different experiences. Some emotional, some not. You know what I mean? So, I was able to document everything I went through, fam. So that way a youngster, can come in behind me and they know it's possible. My mother used to tell me, if you can see another man do it, that means you can do it. You know, you might not can't get there like he got there, but you can get there. Everybody got different paths, man. Some people get blessed in with things from their family. They inherit certain things. And some of us, I'm in McGee, Arkansas right now, and we call this the muddy South. Some of us got to get it out the mud, fam. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we ain't had nothing, fam. We got to create it. But we do have something. We was born with a gift. And I believe all of us was born with a gift, with a talent, with something that we can use to take us to the next level. And I just believe, in my personal opinion, welding is a skill that I have added to my gift. My gift is to help people, to encourage people, to inspire, to motivate. And welding is something I use to pay the bills, get myself from when I got out of prison after doing a decade, 10 years in prison. I was able to buy a home. I was able to start a family. I was able to purchase some things and go some places that I never imagined. That I was like, man, when I get out, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to an NBA game. I'm gonna do this. I was able to do all this off of welding. Something that my mother introduced to me, fam. My mother came down there from this house. She was staying in this house, and she came down to the prison and said, "What do you think about welding? What do you think about welding?" And she seen this on a commercial, a Tulsa Welding School commercial. So from that moment, my life changed forever. She was able to share that with me, fam. And I was 17 years old at the time when she introduced me to welding. I'm 45 years old now. I'm officially first and 45, officially an OG. I'm 45 years old. And I've been around, fam. You know what I mean? And I understand how you have to believe in something and hold on to it. I've been getting my hog on, fam, for a minute now. I've been holding on to this. You know what I mean? When I created this just wasn't something that I just put together. When I created the movement, Hog On, for those who don't know, Hog On has two meanings. You know what I mean? It means for honoring our generation, ornamental nature. Meaning we're going to honor those who came before us, who built things, who made things, who helped create things that we love to this day. From the craft, from the trades. All trades, not just welding. And then it also means hustling over grounded obstacles naturally. Because that's how I'm doing what I'm doing now, fam. I'm getting my hog on. We have to go through a thing, we have to go around the thing, or we have to go over that thing, fam. But we have to get a hog on. We have to be consistent in our hustle. And some people have gave hustle a bad name, like it's wrong. Hustle is not wrong. Y'all look up the definition. Everybody is not a hustler. Everybody is not willing to hustle, willing to get up and go. Just like hustling to work out, or hustling to lose weight, or hustling to learn someone, to finish a class in school. You got to be willing to put the hustle in, fam. You got to be willing to put those hours in that others are not willing to do. And I was always a hustler. I was born a go-getter. I was always, someone told me, since I've been down over the weekend now, and some of my people I grew up with, a few of them said some things that really stuck out to me. I felt the love since I've been home. I've been feeling a lot of love. And, going through what I've been going through the last week, to come back home, to regroup, and to feel the love that I felt, man, it was needed. And, that's how I know that God's timing is perfect timing, because everything that happened this weekend was what I needed to happen. And I didn't even know that I needed it. You know what I'm saying? But I had a few people, I've been listening to a few songs, how they've been talking to youngsters, say, man, you him. I had a few people tell me, say, man, you been him, man. You've been that guy that, been willing to step out and go that extra mile, and being misunderstood. And some people consider you bad because you're willing to do some things that they're not willing to do. that they think is bad. But I'm just willing to break the mold. Give me a second, fam. I want to slow down for a minute. Check some of these messages. I'm gonna be doing both, fam. We're gonna be starting off on structural welding and manufacturing, and then we're gonna venture into the pipe welding in Little Rock at the college. So we want to cover all fields, and we want to make people great. We just don't want to scratch the surface. We're not just trying to scratch the surface and send you on. No, we're trying to turn these young gentlemen into great journeymen and master welders. You know what I mean? But also pay their bills. Some people got to get started. And we also teach entrepreneurship. So we're entering entrepreneurship so we can show them how to start businesses from it, how to write LLCs, how to set up your business, how to set up your profile and bank accounts, how to get funding for their programs, for their vision, for their concept. So we're not just teaching welding, fam. We're doing what I love to do. We're innovating it with entrepreneurship, with academics. Like, we're going to be able to help these young men do something that is amazing, fam. And we're getting started. Booker T. Washington, when he got started, I just want to say, when I was in prison is when I learned how to read better. I wasn't good at it at all. I was good with numbers, but I wasn't good at reading. I was even good at algebra, but I wasn't good at reading. And when I went to prison, I had to get my GED. I wanted to graduate with my class. I went to prison at 16, so my class was still in school. So my goal was, man, I'm going to graduate with my class. So I had to work hard to graduate with them. And I did, fam. So salute to my class, even though I got held a year behind. So my class that I was in was class of 99, but I'm really class of 98 because I got held back in kindergarten. You know how your parents, my mama held me back because I needed some more help. And then we was moving back and forth from Denver to Arkansas. So I had came back to Arkansas from Denver, and my mom knew that I was behind. We was moving, and she was like, "Nah, just put him back in kindergarten in Arkansas, and then let him repeat." So when I came to Arkansas, I repeated kindergarten again, and I had already did it in Denver. So needless to say, though, I'm class of '99. I'm gonna represent my class because I grew up with them, but here in Arkansas. But I'm actually class of '98. But the things I learned here, fam, was phenomenal because, they say Moses had to go through different stages. Moses had someone, Aaron, that helped him speak better. Well, I had a speech impediment. I couldn't speak good at all, fam. I always stuttered real bad when I was a kid. But when I came to McGee, Arkansas, though, I got blessed. I got blessed, fam. And I got to share this story because if it wasn't for this lady, I wouldn't be talking as clear as I am today. Now, this lady, I can't remember her name, but I do know it was Gober. Miss Gober was her last name, Miss Gober. Miss Gober was a speech therapist, and she also took a job, I remember, to work for Bill Clinton at the time. And you know how they got the lady that's there doing the sign language as the governor or the president or that, talk. You got a person on the side doing the sign language. She had got that position. And when the governor got sworn back in, Bill Clinton, she invited her class. She wanted us to go. So she took us with her to that inauguration or whatever it was. And we was there with Bill Clinton. I remember eating dinner with him. You know what I mean? It was cool. I remember I was a kid and I was with her. And she loved us to death, man. It was a little class, and there was some of us that she took a whole class. And we was a part of that great moment. And I never forget being there, meeting Mr. Bill Clinton, and I was a kid. And like I say, she taught me how to speak better. Later, shortly after that, she ended up getting into a tragic accident and ended up getting killed. And so I just want to pay homage and take just a brief moment to pay homage to her and also her family because she really, really helped me. It'd be people in your journey that sometimes you wonder, man, why you went to a certain place, why God had to send me as a kid to come back to McGee, Arkansas from Denver, because my mom and my dad was going through a moment, at that time. So we came back down here. So being down here, like I say, I met her, and that moment changed my life. So it's just ironically now that the house that I'm in right now that my mama purchased, is right down the street, fam, from the elementary school. I can see it. I can walk out my front door and look down and see the elementary school that I grew up in. Well, when I first came back down here from Arkansas, so it's just ironic. It's a small word. It's a small cycle too. And also, I want to tie something into this cycle too as well. I was 16 years old when I went to prison. 96. My age go with the years. So whatever year it is, that's pretty much how old I am. It's 2025, right? I'm 45. So during this season of my life, this was again where I met. I ain't gonna say I met him physically, but I met his laws. Bill Clinton had did the massive incarceration. Here I am, the same person that was having dinner with him as a youngster at the governor's mansion, was now going to prison from the law that was written. Because technically, if it wasn't for that law, I wouldn't have went to prison for those crimes. There's a lot of us down there that shouldn't went to prison, but prison, I can't honestly say, was the best thing for me. That environment helped me. I even had a few cousins over the weekend say, "Man, prison saved you, Lil Joe." That's what all my hometown people call me, Lil Joe. Man, prison saved you, Lil Joe. You know what I mean? And I can honestly say it did because it slowed me down. I was moving so fast, and God has his reasons for everything, even though we want to complain about him, we don't know what he's doing, and so today I'm able to, do what I'm doing because of that time, because of that situation, man. Yes, skills are priceless. My old and welding channel that I created is still open and going on YouTube, and I still post some videos in there from time to time. But it's called Hog on Welding. You'll see this hog on there. It's gonna be HOGON Welding. You should see a blue hog on there. You know what I mean? And like I say, if you go on there and you look up my archives of uploads, my archives of lives and shorts, you'll see my journey, fam. Like I got so many videos from when I first started my business in 2016, the end of 2016. That's when I started the channel. So one of my OGs influenced me to do it because he said, "Man, you got a message." And I was like, man, I don't want to get in front of no camera, man. I don't want to talk in front of nobody. I'm trying to get some money. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? And fam, I was all uncomfortable. And I went through life, fam. I went through life and I slowed down that channel and I had to regroup. That's when I came here to my mother's house and I was restoring it and everything hit the fan, fam. It's like, boy, you know how they say you got to go through the fire? I had to go through the fire. I went through a divorce while I was restoring the house, coming back and forth from Georgia. Child support hit my account. Man, there was so much crazy stuff going on. I wasn't even seeing my son, and I'm trying to get in a position to see him and do things for him. Man, everything just hit me, fam, so hard in this home. And that's when I also came up with Your Welding Coach, this channel that we are on live now. So I could have broke, fam. I could have gave up on life and said, forget it. But you know what I did? I reinvented myself, fam. I reinvented myself. I didn't use those lemons and just let my life be sour. I made some lemonade with just some coffee. I made me some coffee out some lemons. You know what I'm saying? This stuff pretty strong though, but it's pretty good too. You know what I mean? So I used my pain, fam, and I created something great from it. So I created Your Welding Coach. So if you look at the date, if for those who are following me and listening now, if you go to the channel and go to the information of this page and you go down there, you see when I created this channel. See when I created this channel. I created this channel when I was going through the most hardest time of my life. And I got the job that helped me create this channel, Your Welding Coach, from being at the Hogon University. I call this the Hogon University that I established at my mom's house. I built everything to teach private classes. And the Goodwill Academy seen me, observed me, followed my pages of me teaching in here and how I was helping people and what I was doing. And it made them easy to say, hey, this is the guy we need because he's passionate about what he's doing now. Got the job. I created Your Welding Coach. Actually, I did a solid year and a half. I did exactly a year and a half, so under 2 years, but I always claim 2 years, but it was under 2 years, a year and a half exactly. I got a chance to graduate 4 classes, so it was real cool, fam. I touched a lot of lives. I did a lot of things, and now I'm about to get ready to transition back. But that job and what I was doing in this house, in my mom's house, you know what I mean, changed my life. I could have gave up, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna help somebody. So I started helping a youngster in the area. We started documenting. I helped some more people, paid for some classes. I had a few people come through here that kept they kept the lights on for me. You know what I mean? And I was able to help some people get some jobs. So shout out to Safe Holland. I sent a few people to Safe Holland in Dumas. They got welding jobs. So they came to me. I trained them right in here, and they went to Safe Holland and started working. So, fam, what you can do, if you got the tools and you don't give up. I didn't give up, fam. I could have. Like, life had hit me hard as hell. Like, I could have just laid in the bed, fam. I hit you so hard, but I didn't. Even over the last week, I lost my job as a welding instructor in Fort Smith. And that hit me a little hard because I can be honest. I understand why I got let go. I understand it, and I hold no ill will to the company, and I would send anyone there to this day. I would promote anyone who need classes, affordable classes, kids, grown people, life after prison, recovering addicts, whatever. I would send them. I would refer y'all to go there. Literally, I got the number on my vehicle right now. I refer y'all to go there. It's a good place. My son is there, and if all else fails and I don't be able to teach him personally, I will send him to American Welding Laboratories. I would send him personally there. So it's not a bad school. I do not have nothing against the school. The incident that happened was kind of, the school just had to protect its integrity, and I understand it. But I had a situation that got a little carried out of the hand with one of the students. And I was literally trying to save the student. You know how you be in the foxhole? I'm in the foxhole with him, fam. Like, what really hurts me about the situation is that I went out my way to really help him. And some things that I did with this student is going to benefit him to this day, even though I'm not around him. I helped him establish his own YouTube channel. I helped him establish a TikTok channel, a page on Facebook. Like, I was showing him how to not just use his experience, but use it as a business. He's getting old. He was like 38, I believe. I'm like, use this and build a business, something you can do for your family, something you can pass on, document your journey. I'm sharing my wisdom with him. I'm in the booth with him, like an uncle, fam, like like a real OG, and he needed it and he appreciated it. I thought, and don't get me wrong, probably still do. Probably just one of them days. We have those days. And I was having a day as well, I can be honest. But it got to a situation where it just got a little sticky in the booth where he was having a hard time getting the process. And family, I'm in, like I say, I consider this as like being in the foxhole. I got your back, fam. Because I know if the enemy come in and I let them in, they going to kill me and you. So I got your back. You should got my back too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in there with you, So this is how I'm in there with him, fam. He'll run one, I run one. I do a whole pass. I do a whole demo. Like, I do whatever I can, go around, help others come back. And this particular day, fam, I ain't gonna lie. Life hit you. It is what it is, fam. I let life get to me. I let my depression creep in on top of me trying to help him. And he said some things that just, I ain't gonna lie, I got triggered, fam. Now that I think about it, I know exactly what was said that made me say what I said. You know what I mean? And needless to say, I'm in there with him, and we working on this process, and we was actually working on flux core uphill, which is a difficult process. But we're working on the flux core 3G uphill, and it gets a little sticky in there, and some things were said, and you know how when you try and, especially, everybody talks different from different communities, but if you're from the urban community or you're witness real urban people talk, you from the hood, from the ghetto, we can talk firm. And it doesn't mean that we're disrespecting you or don't love you. We just got to talk firm at you. We don't, you know. And I had to talk straight, direct, and firm. And with doing that, profanity comes out. And but not like I'm cussing at you. I'm just cussing while I'm holding this discussion with you. And so it was said that, between me and him, he's like, man, you ain't got to cuss. I'm like, I'm not trying to cuss, but he had made a statement and said, if I was doing my job correctly, then he should have learned this process by now. And I'm paraphrasing this, fam, but that's pretty much what he said, fam. And man, I almost lost it. I'm like, I'm doing everything I can, and you telling me if I was doing it right, you should have been learned it by then. But teach me right, and I get it by now, pretty much. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Fam, I ain't gonna lie, fam. Due to me, the stuff that was on my plate, I kind of lost it at the moment. Me and him holding this conversation. I'm like, man, I'm going through all this with you. I'm doing all I can. I'm the only one trying to help you. I'm the only one in the lines dealing with you, fam. You can't have the audacity to tell me some stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And we talking like now we talking like, like my nephew then again, stuff you tell your nephew, like, boy, if you would have said that stuff to my face any other time in any other place, I probably would have hit you in your jaw. I remember one of my cousins, I said something disrespected to as a kid, I never forget. And he told me, he looked at me dead in my face. He said, boy, if you wasn't my cousin, that stuff you just told me, I'd have hit you in your mouth. And I deserved to be hit in the mouth. But I was running my mouth thinking I know stuff. You know how you be thinking you're tough. And I didn't know my cousin is a real killer too. Shout out to my cousin Punch. So those who from McGee, Arkansas, everybody know my big cousin Punch, man. He's dead now. He died in Springfield, Missouri. But my big cousin Punch, I said some things to him. And he told me, boy, you look at you, my cousin. And he told me, and smiled at me. And boy said, boy, you young, you don't know what you're talking about. And talk slow down. And he talks to me. I never forget the message he gave me. But sometimes we say some things, fam. In our anger, being, what we say, being naive or being foolish or being, in our feelings, we say things. And so, like I say, what he said just kind of rubbed me wrong. And I was still trying to help him. Like I wasn't trying to fight him. You know what I mean? I was just saying, that disrespectful stuff right there. You know what I mean? And like I say, it just got out of hand, fam. And we had some words. And, I'm from that era, fam. I'm from that era where we'll say something like, I'm going to be honest. We'll say things like, well, I'm not going to let you disrespect me, fam. I was looking for a job and I found this one. And stand on that. I'm going out my way for you, fam. Don't try to get loud in front of me, in front of the folks. Don't try to disrespect me. This between me and you. And we can keep this between me and you because I'm going to help you anyway, fam. And it just got out of hand. But I can be honest with y'all for the record and honestly tell y'all that I have never had a problem with a younger student. I'm going to tell you, I have only had problems, only had problems with teaching someone who didn't physically pay for it too. But when people physically pay, they want to be involved. They got something for free that was older than 35. It seemed like everybody older than 35, if they set in their ways and they ain't been working on themselves, they feel like you are the reason for everything that's going wrong with them. And I had to really sit back and think, and I had a discussion with some of my homies older, and they was like, man, I get it, fam, because even you can help me, and I'll be feeling like, man, what this dude know? He can't tell me nothing. I've been, but knowing that he's been doing this for 20 years, I'm just now learning it. I think I got it already. But that's how we feel when we're older. And that's why I say when you're helping the generation from 12 through 24, they haven't developed those deeper bruises and hurts and and been on hard drugs. I've been through bad relationships that have scarred them, and that has that they probably haven't worked on. And that's what I learned though, fam. Like I say, it was a moment where it was a teachable moment for me and him, and it shouldn't have got that way. Do I think I should have lost my job behind that? What I was doing? Nah, but I understand why though. You know what I mean? I understand why they had to let me go, and even even in the process, I knew it was a hard thing. We was having discussions, while the investigation, I'd say, was going on. So it was all good. No love lost, no love lost. So right now, like I say, I'm transitioning. I don't know how things are going to go as far as where I'm going to be exactly. You know what I mean? I'm in my hometown right now. I'm in McGee, Arkansas, but I'm down here visiting, and then I wanted to do some spring cleaning to the house. I had some new curtains I had wanted to put up, cleaned up some things, cleaned up, how stuff get dusty, and, I don't be here. So I just needed to get some stuff organized. But I do have a homeboy that comes through and get the yard cut for me, and take care of, the mail and stuff like that. So shout out to my big homie, what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say my big homie, but my homie. You know what I'm saying? Peanut. You know what I'm saying? We from McGee, Arkansas. So shout out to my homie, man, Peanut. He always coming through. And there's a few different Peanuts here, so I gotta say K. Ron Bryant. I gotta say his real name, government name. K. Ron Bryant. Shout out to my homie, you know what I mean? That's my guy. That's my day one. That's my homie. That's my cousin too, you know what I mean? And we've been like this here since we was knee high to grasshopper. So out of all my homeboys, I've lost a lot that's dead. That's from my hometown, but he's one that's in my age range. We grew up and we still like this to this day. So like I say, fam, life happens. But I've been working on this opportunity in Little Rock for over a year now, and so now the opportunity has opened up just to get the doors going. So had a meeting with them Friday. So we had a meeting Friday and discussed some of our ideas on starting the welding lab, and they already have the shipping container, and all we have to do is locate it, put it at the location. They already got the location, and then I'm just working on the build out. So this weekend I've been working getting the numbers together, what we need to get it built out, the equipment, blase, get the numbers so we can go on and make that move. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have all of that going is my goal. So I can submit that this week. So we can go on and have a realistic number on the equipment, what we're going to be teaching, the tools, the curriculum, the full nine. So I've been working on all of that. And it's crazy how everything takes full circle too. Salute. Thanks for checking in. Hold up for a second, fam. Let me make sure I get this in. Oh, fam, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, fam. Give me a second. I think I didn't have my disturb on, and I'm getting messages because it's storming here. So salute. I'm glad you found it, fam. Shout out to Georgia, fam. I'm still a Georgian right now. My ID's still Georgia. I love it. I ain't switched it over. Yeah, fam, it is crazy. But you know what? Like I say, and I'm gonna tell you something else crazy, fam, and I'm gonna share this and I'll be open and transparent with my community. You know, I let the stuff go, fam, and I'm just let it go. Tell me why this guy has tried to leave some comments on my channel, on my page, and I ain't really like him, so I ain't even respond to him. But sometimes you realize some people have some real mental issues, you know what I'm saying, that need to get some help. So, I know our people need help, fam, you know what I mean? I got uncles, I got cousins, I got family, so I know we don't get the proper help we need, you know. Even I go to a counselor now, you know what I'm saying? So I'm working on that process so I can start back my, sessions, you know what I mean? because I was going, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it takes money, man. Man, you know what? It takes money to be healthy, fam. It takes money to eat healthy. It takes money to be mental healthy. You know, but you have to literally, you know what? If you don't have the money to go to someone to talk to someone, you have to at least start doing some healthy things, taking some time for yourself, enjoying some simple activities, regrouping. You know, like me coming back to my hometown, like this was a good thing for me to refocus. And I didn't even know all of this stuff was going to happen. You know, the meeting with the college that I had, talking to them and some of their ideas, coming back to my hometown. My dad's sister turned 60 years old, so we celebrated her 60-year birthday over the weekend. That was great. Family was down. Some people I hadn't seen since 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 45, so I probably ain't seen them in 30 years, you know, or more. I was 13, 12, 13 when I seen some of these people. So, you know, that was dope. But the goal is, fam, we're focusing on the youth. We're going to be catching people out of high school, transitioning into college, people that's who can't go to college but want to trade. We're focusing on those that's coming out of high school. Saving these kids, fam. You know, we're willing to help adults, fam, but everybody got to help themselves. But them kids, fam, we're willing to go out our way to help these kids, these adolescents. Like I say, we really want to help them get the trades. We want to help teach entrepreneurship. We want to help. We're also teaching them life skills. Let me not forget that part. We also implementing life skills, mentorships. You know, teaching them about certain life principles that's like universal. It don't matter who you are, where you go. These principles are universal. So we're gonna be teaching them that as well because we want them to get fully equipped for what the world gonna have for them, fam. You know, we gotta stop lying to our kids. We gotta stop pretending like these numbers don't exist. We gotta stop pretending like these statistics in our communities doesn't exist. You know, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Y'all check him out in some of his books. But I purchased one of his books, Black Labor, White Wealth. Y'all check that book out. I just got it. Black Labor, White Wealth. And he's talking about the numbers and how the system was built and how it is in America. On the books, real time, real talk. So we got to change something, fam. You know, it's all in the numbers. And so we can't say that a small percentage of us is causing all the problems. You know, it just doesn't work like that. So I just want to give y'all some live updates and just talk about what we're going to be doing. But the goal is to start a welding lab in Little Rock. I'm also going to be doing private welding classes in my hometown in McGee, Arkansas. We have some companies that's in this area that teaches, that's looking for some MIG welders and some stick welding, some construction. So I'm going to be teaching some stick welding and some MIG welding here, private classes, one-on-one. I can actually teach about 2 at a time, really 3, but it's comfortable with 2, you know, because we have more room, you know what I mean? But 3, I can teach 3, no problem though. But normally, a lot of people like to be one-on-one. So when I'm here, it's a one-on-one setting. I used to have it where I also had the home as an Airbnb where a person that came down can rent out a room and stay here while we teach. Because like I say, I stay here alone. So I got the 3-bedroom. And so I leave the living room, the kitchen is open for people to eat or whatever, you know what I mean? And if a person has a family, you know, I got other family here too. I could, you know, have went and stayed and rent them out the whole house while and then come back in the morning and teach them. I do that too. So I'm probably going to be doing some of those private classes as well. So for those who want private classes and you willing to come down to McGee, Arkansas, or you in the surrounding areas, contact me. You can email me at yourweldingcoach@gmail.com. That's yourweldingcoach@gmail. You can email me. We can set something up. You can call or text the business line, which is 501-400-5806. That's 501-400-5806. You can call or text that number and leave a message and say, you know, if you want some private classes, if you want to be in the Little Rock area and want to get also involved in the welding lab and what we're going to be doing in Little Rock at the Baptist College, if you want to get involved in that, also hit me up as well. Our goal is, like I said, we're going to be focusing on the youth. We're going to be focusing on academics, entrepreneurship, and teaching them practical welding skills that can go get them a job. So we got companies in the area that is looking for good welders, looking for people to come to work, looking for work ethics, looking for room for the person to come in and grow with the company. Families, companies in Little Rock that want you to grow with them. You know, a few companies in Little Rock. Just to give you a couple, you got Lexicon, and they got a couple different divisions. You got Prospect Steel, you got Custom Metals, you got Afco Steel there, you got Well Spun there. You got a few big companies in the area that's looking for welders, inspectors, quality control, different type of manufacturers. It's a lot going on in the central area, and it's not going nowhere. It's only getting bigger. So, you know, there's a lot you can do coming from small areas, moving to Little Rock, getting more established, because here in Arkansas, Little Rock is the biggest hub. You know, Little Rock is our Atlanta. In Arkansas, Little Rock is our Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's where, if you want to get known, or you want to get better opportunities, you would want to go there. It's a better chance. You know what I mean? For at least, I can say this, coming from the country, you can live a whole lot better in Little Rock. And it's not, you know, it depends on where you want to stay. You know, some places are higher than others. So it all depends on what a person want to do. But my goal is, like I say, I got my mom's house. I'm trying to get it where it needs to be at. One major thing I got to focus on first, though, I think, is the roof. Need to focus on the roof, and then probably the central heating in there. I got like a couple air units, but they got it ran, but that unit is like old. They say it was a Cadillac of units, but it didn't went out, so I had to focus on getting the roof done, a new roof, and then probably the central heating air. I do have a couple leveling issues, foundation issues, but I had someone that got theirs completely fixed and got a whole lot of money, and it went right back down to its original shape. So I'm like, is it even worth it, you know, doing that? But I want to get it where I can even keep it level or figure something out, you know, because the area that we in. And other than that, like I say, I need to finish out a couple things with some sheetrock and some things in the kitchen. But I ain't got a whole lot. Like I said, I put a whole lot of money into it already. But I need to get the roof. That's gonna be like my major thing. I planned on doing a GoFundMe about what I'm doing here and getting started with the school in Little Rock, and then also offering private classes. So for those who gonna be helping, donating, and if you have a family member, we're gonna come up with something where we can give some private classes out for free. And then we're gonna have I'm doing a monument, a monument for my mom. So I done checked out some prices. I'm gonna be buying this from Georgia. So I checked out some prices, and we're gonna have some metal things made where those who do donations is gonna be put on the monument that's gonna be in front of the house. So when people come by, your name will be etched in this piece of metal. Your name or your company will be etched in there from having a part of what we're doing here in my hometown, turning my mother's house into a historical landmark. Not only because of what she had done, but what she influenced me to do with the welding trade, and what I have done up to this point has been phenomenal. So I know it's only going to get better. So we're going to pay homage, and we're going to do that on top of what we're going to be doing in Little Rock at the Arkansas Baptist College. I just think it's going to be some amazing things to come. So if you want to get involved in that, like I said, I'm going to be working on this, getting this GoFundMe up this week. And like I said, we're going to be having where you will be remembered through time. So everybody that helped, you will be remembered. You know what I'm saying? You, your company will give a shout out. When people come through here, they'll be able to see, you know, who was involved. Now, coming through McGee, you got to go to New Orleans. A lot of people go to New Orleans, so they come through here. Salute. Thanks for checking in. Tussle, thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking in, Tussle. Yeah, man, fam. We're really trying to help the youth. We really want to do something great. Our goal is, like I say, is to give back. And, you know, during this time, I'm going through a little rough time, but I want to restore this so I can have a place. And I'm going to have to get me a place in Little Rock, that I'm gonna be at, but I want to restore this as the landmark where people can come through, and then also keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the trust, keep it in the family, and I just want to document the journey here. So for those who are on my YouTube, I appreciate for those who've been liking, sharing the channel. Our goal is to get that 100K plaque this year, fam, and we're gonna have it in the house. We're gonna have the house where people can actually come down. If you're from out of state and you visit in the area, I want to have it where you can come down and you can check out the plaques, the things I accomplished, the things I have done with welding. I'm gonna have some cool things on the wall, cool photos. Like we're gonna turn it into like a museum type situation. You know what I mean? Where it can keep the family, but we're gonna remember my mom, what she did, what I've done with welding, with teaching, and with documenting the journey. In my in my hometown of McGee, there have been some great people come from here, fam, and I'm just one of them. You know what I mean? I'm one of the great people. One of my McGee people just got a street named after her. She plays women NBA football, women football. I mean, not sorry, basketball. I'm sorry, forgive me. She's playing women basketball, doing great too. And they got a little street out to her. So shout out to Miss Davis. Shout out to her. She's doing great things. We got a lot of influential people that came from here. Shout out to one of the football coaches, Hood, Coach Hood. We got a lot of great people, fam. I don't want to miss anyone, but those are people that popped in my mind off the hand. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of great people coming from my area. You got the senator and Reverend Ricky Lattimore. You know what I'm saying? That's come from this area as well. Man, there's a lot of great people come from here. And I'm like I say, my goal, I'm just one of them. And I want to give back. And while I'm here, I want to offer private classes. And I probably end up getting a school down here. They have a college here. So they have a college that teaches. But what I'm doing is going to have nothing to do with that. That's a whole thing. I'm not knocking what they're doing out there. But what we're doing is different. So what I'm going to be doing in Little Rock, I just want to be able to implement some of it here. So for those who can't get there and their kids, I can be able to help them while I'm in the area. So while I'm down visiting fam, I still like to help. I like to stay busy. So, I don't have no problem on helping the kids, fam, helping them learn the trade, helping them get involved, being that role model. Growing up, fam, we didn't have nobody in the community to look up to. Everybody left. It seemed like once we get some money, being, from our community, we want to leave and go to the suburbs. And then the kids have nobody to look up to but who? The people in the hood. The hustlers, the dope dealers, the gangsters, the robbers, the pimps, the players. You know what I mean? That's what they look up to. And so we have to have somebody in the community they could actually see and touch. And like, oh man, that's so-and-so. Man, I want to be like the coach. Hey, let the coach stay over there, man. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to travel and do some work. You got to inspire the kids, fam. They can make money, fam. They can be rich. They can drive nice cars. I had a kid come to me that's grown now. He's in his 30s now. And he told me, he said, man, Joe, man, I remember, man, when you came down with this certain car, man, I always wanted one. And, man, I never forget because I ain't never seen nothing like that, man. You know what I mean? And he remembered me not from fixing up cars and coming back to my hometown with a different type of car all the time. And, I just like the vehicles, fixing them up, old schools and stuff. And now he's talking about, man, I want to get into that welding, man. I'm about to move. I just moved to Little Rock, man. I said, man, I'm about to have something in Little Rock. So a lot of my people from the area moving to Little Rock and moving to Jonesboro and moving to Fayetteville, moving to Fort Smith. They're moving to different areas so they can have opportunities. It's understood because there's not a lot of opportunities in the country. You can only eat so many ways. So after you grow up, it's a cool place to grow up. But to have a life, if you're not one of the families or you're not into the money and you ain't got no money saved up or you ain't got some type of business that's booming, you probably ain't going to stay here. Salute. Thanks for checking in. Grand Rising. I appreciate the love and support, fam. Appreciate the love and support. Salute. Like I say, fam, but my goal is, like I say, we're going to be, I'm going to be keeping y'all on some updates. And then we also going to start this podcast off. I'm trying to get everything together. I pretty much got the people that's going to be on board with it. I got the name. We got pretty much how the concept we want to use behind it. Now we're just figuring out what type of platform or how we're going to shoot it, and I think we're going to shoot it through YouTube. So we're going to shoot it through YouTube and some other platforms, but I think YouTube is going to be our platform for the podcast, and then we're going to branch it out. So I'll be telling y'all more about that too. Even the name, I ain't gonna announce the name yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be keeping y'all in tune with it. But like I say, y'all stay in tune on the movement in Little Rock though at Arkansas Baptist College. Do some research on that. Google Arkansas Baptist College. See the history of it, what it has done in the city, the movement, the lives that have changed, the people. There's a lot of history. A lot of history. A lot of black history. So check it out, fam. Check it out. Like I say, I'm in my hometown right now. It's raining, storming, like it's gonna be doing this all day. So I wanted to go live for at least an hour and talk to you about some of the incidents and some of the things that I plan on doing. We're not stopping. You know what I mean? Like I say, our goal is to not only do the shipping container welding lab. Our goal is to build the five finger trade center, which what we're going to call the FIS community. And it's going to be a community where you can learn welding, carpentry, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, the FIS. And ironically, fam, you know, I'll be rocking the FIS. This is what this is for those who don't know. That's a FIS, fam. See that? I got this made, and you know, every culture should be proud of their culture. Be proud of your people. Be proud of what you can do. And I'm proud that I know that if I come together with myself, if I come together with my people, we can do great things. And we can be stronger if we come together. We just like this here. If somebody go through there and break your finger, oh, ow. You know, but if you like this here, ain't no fingers being broken, fam. You got to come with it. You hear me? So our goal is to build up something where we can represent the struggle and represent the movement of education and trades and development and financial literacy, you know, entrepreneurship. So we plan on building a community, the FIS community, a trade learning center, and it's going to be out of shipping containers, fam. It's going to be cool. We're going to have some murals paint on them to pay homage to probably individuals that represented those trades or individuals that represented education in the area of Little Rock. We don't know how we're going to do that part, but we're going to pay homage to education, to tradeship, and to the area. We want to make it a spot where when you come to Little Rock, you're going to want to come to the Learning Center and check it out, and it's going to be made out of shipping containers. And it's going to be made by students. You know, like Fubu say, for us, by us, it's going to be made, all of that, the above. You know, we want the students, the people to be involved in it. I'm designing it and getting the ideal, and once we go with a plan and approve whatever design we tend to go with, I'm going to be, you know, cutting some stuff, getting the people together, creating this movement. So it's going to be great. So y'all stay in tune. We get started filming this and recording this and documenting this, fam. We want to be a part of it. So, like I say, the journey has started, fam. The journey has started. And our goal is to, like I say, get the welding lab going, work on the historical home here in McGee, Arkansas, get it going, finish a couple of repairs and things that need to be done. Get some finances going, fam. You know, it takes money to make money. You know, it is what it is, you know. If the lights on, somebody going to be asking me for some money. You know, so it is what it is. Salute. Thanks for checking in. So I appreciate everybody, fam, for having a moment. Sorry I was a few minutes late. Like I said, it's a storm out. And I had to try to get everything together and had a few difficulties, but I appreciate it. I wanted to at least go live for an hour and talk to y'all. Like I say, there's no bad blood with the school, American Welding Laboratories. I would recommend those who are looking for education. You in Fort Smith, you're in surrounding areas, you're trying to get certified, you're trying to dive into the program. Give them folks a call, fam. 479-551-2049. That's 479-551-2049. Excellent school, great opportunities, and they're only going to get better. You know what I mean? So y'all check them out. And like I say, our goal is to build something in Little Rock. And hopefully things go right, fam. It's going to be associated, like I say, with the Arkansas Baptist College. We're going to be killing several birds in one stone. But like I say, it takes money to make money. We're going to be reaching out to some of the businesses in the area, some of the plants, some of the factories, and try to get people involved in what we're doing that can also not only help us, that can help them as well. You know what I mean? So, we got the pity back, we got to scratch your back, you scratch my back, but we're going to be producing some amazing people into the economic system of our area. If it comes from tradesmen, if it comes from entrepreneurship, and Little Rock, we embrace it all. We have a mayor that's in Little Rock, and he's most definitely embracing change, moving forward, being together. And so we got some people right now, fam, that we can really do some things with. And we're just trying to make a change. We're just trying to make the people better. We're trying to make the area better. We're trying to make it better for everyone. You know what I mean? So we're not stepping on no one. We're going to learn from our mistakes. As the old folks say, we're not crying over spilled milk. We're just going to make another glass and clean up our mess. Clean up your mess, fam. And what I mean by clean up your mess is accountability. Take accountability, fam. Take accountability for what you did. Apologize, correct, do whatever you have to do for your accountability. Do whatever you have to do, step that, whatever you have to do. If it's time, you got to do. If it's whatever, you have to accept your fault, fam. It takes two to tangle. And my mom used to always say, ain't no way if both of y'all in a relationship and ain't never one person causing problems all the time. There might be one person causing problems, but you can't say you ain't kick the scratch every now and then too. Come on now, it's part of the game, fam. So you have to accept accountability. So I want to say, as a grown man, as a teenager, as a young person, the quicker, the sooner you can start learning how to accept accountability, how to face your own, how to work on you, the better you're going to be in the future. So the goal is to break the cycle. That's why it's very important the youth is from 12 through 24, because we can break that cycle, fam. I can break that cycle from that age. I can't do that if a person is way past that, especially from the age, I say from 35 and up. Because sometimes if you're not working on you, there's nothing I can do. You're going to look at me as the problem. I'm going to become a problem to you because I'm going to be showing you your problem. And now I'm a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it, fam. I understand the psychology behind it. And like I say, I take accountability for everything that I've done. And, me going and having to do 10 years in prison, I accept why I had to go. I accept my responsibility. Do I think I had to do that much? Nah, but I accept it. I know I was moving fast. I accept it though, and from that experience, fam, from my 10 years in prison, I came out with a GED. After going in at 16, I came out with a combination of welding certification, which is right here. You see it hanging on the wall. I'm going to go up closer, you can really see it. I'm going to show y'all that. And I came out with that. I came out with small business management from college, a certificate, which was like a 9-month program I took. So it wasn't just like a piece of paper, but I learned a lot, which helped me establish businesses and doing some of the things I'm doing right now. So I didn't just do time, fam. I worked on me. And I got out after from 16 to 26. And look what I have done from 26. Not counting what I've done in prison, but from 26 to 45. From 26 to 45, fam, I've done some great things, fam. And I'm humble. And I'm humble because I couldn't do none of these things without the trade that my mother introduced me to. I wouldn't have went to Phoenix, Arizona. I wouldn't have moved to Kansas City. I wouldn't have been back to Denver. I wouldn't have went to South Carolina, North Carolina. I wouldn't have been through New Mexico. I wouldn't have moved to Phoenix, Arizona. I wouldn't have went to Washington State. I wouldn't have seen Seattle. I wouldn't have did none of that if it wasn't for welding, fam. Bought my first home, bought my first RV, you know what I'm saying, my old school cars, my gold teeth for the youngsters, my grill, these teeth. I wouldn't have been able to do nothing. Welding, youngsters. The stocks that I have, the things that I started investing in now, welding money. So once you learn the trade, you start investing, and then you start seeing the benefits you can do from the trade, fam. But you have to learn somewhere. We can't reinvent the wheel. I use welding, and on top of it, entrepreneurship, on top of it, investing, and keep it going. So I want to show others how to do the same thing that I did, fam. You know, it's not no rocket scientist, but it do take work. It just take work, fam. You can't just talk about it. You got to get your hog on, fam. You got to do something. See, that's the one thing. See, when to get your hog on, fam, you actually got to be doing something. Like my guy checking in XL flooring, like my guy's checking in heavy steel and hot rods. You got to be doing something. We out here on the grind, fam. You know what I mean? So I salute everybody that's checking in with me, that's rising. I'm about to let y'all go, but I'm going to check in and let y'all see some of this in the background. Oh, fam, when it comes to telling a person about your money, let me give you a secret before I let you go. Never tell your left hand what your right hand doing. You ain't got to reveal your finances, just make some money. I'm going to show y'all this before I let y'all go. That's Riverside VOTEC. Riverside Vote Technical School. Certificate of Completion. Joe Brown. Arkansas Department of Workforce Education. Combination of welding. And that number right there, you can look up exactly what I learned. March the 3rd, 2004. Grady, Arkansas is when I graduated. So on paper, I got 21 years of experience. And I have been doing this welding thing since I've been out, fam. Since I've been out, I've been doing this welding thing, fam. So it's a lot I can teach you, fam. So if y'all cool with me, fool with me, like I said, I'm working on this GoFundMe coming up soon. Should drop it this week. I'm going to have everything detailed. We're going to have different stages so how we're going to be doing this for those who want to be a part of it. Those who want private classes, like I say, just hit me up, email me, yourweldingcoach@gmail.com, or you can call or text the business line, 501-400-5806. For those who want to purchase some of the blueprints, fam, you can email me on that. I got the blueprints to building a welding skid, building some tables, and a few things I got about to start documenting, putting out there. Some of the blueprints are only $100 to build, to get the blueprint to duplicate your own. You can't lose, and you're learning at the same time. So it's going to be a win-win situation. So for those who want to get some of the gear, y'all know it's on Amazon Prime. Amazon just put in haul on welding. That's all you got to put in, fam. You put that in, you're going to see t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, pillows, whatever you need. I know it's about to be summertime, and get you some tank tops, get you some signature t-shirts, some nice. I got some nice soft ones. I got the hard one. I got the straight, whatever you need, fam. I bet you I got something for you to help you get your hog on. Different colors, different concepts. So y'all get your hog on with me. Like I say, my goal is to bring y'all more live updates, let you know what's going on. And we're going to see where the future going to go, but it's going to go somewhere great. So y'all stay in tune with me, fam. Keep sharing and liking the videos. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And I appreciate the love and support, fam. Y'all be blessed. Continue to prosper on this day. Have fun with your family. Go visit your loved ones. Salute to all of our fallen soldiers. Hold on.